So most of my time's in the studio, but kind of feel like I need to get back into playing. But first of all, we need to see how's the game when I'm out on the golf course. So we've got a beautiful day. I'm down at Blackpool North Shore Golf Club, my new home. Just going to play 4 holes to finish off. Good news is the wind's not blowing too hard. Bad news is I've got no excuses. So par 5, 15th to start. Straight over the top of the hill. Let's see, can I commit to what I'm working on in my swing? And let's see, just from a few holes, can I get excited about my golf again? So down the right hand side, can't feel the wind here, but we know it's slightly off the right. Nailed that, straight down the middle. That's pretty much as good as it gets. Let's finish there. Right, so I've hit a perfect drive, but you can see it's left me with a really awkward lie. So downhill, fairly steep as well, to be fair. So the ball's going to come out a little bit lower. And the green's actually tucked all the way round there. So I'm not going over the top off this lie. I'm going to try and go down the left-hand side with a little fade. So I've still got 198 yards to the front edge. Now, probably normally 4-iron for me, but I think off this it's going to come out a little flatter. So I'm going to try and hit 5-iron and play the little fade. I have got a video about uneven lies. I'm not going to get too much into it on here, but I'm going to put that in the top left corner. So I've zapped my yardage. Time to get the club and then see, can I actually do what I've just called? So as ever on the course, kind of go through the routine. So back behind the ball for me. Definitely on this slope, I'm going to need to keep a little bit more pressure on that lower foot. That's going to take a bit of loft off the club, so this should come out a little bit lower as well. So down that left-hand side with a little fade. Bit tighter than I was trying. Now, didn't quite do what I wanted, but it just might be absolutely perfect. Let's see when we get up there. Right, so let's have a look. We're going to head down. Fingers crossed I've got away with that a little bit. Set it off a bit too straight and probably shaped a bit more than I wanted. But it's quite nice being out on the golf course. I'm not saying I'm going to be out here in the wind and the rain. A bit past that now, I think. But quite pleased with how I've played the first 2 shots. And oh yes, that's actually a lot better. And the nice thing, first hole out, we've got a putt for eagle. Right, so there it is. Now, I'll be honest, I wasn't trying to really get it there. From the shot I had, for me, kind of anywhere in that front area, if I'd have hit it up the left, it would have kicked down anyway. But that's the advantage of kind of aiming safe, so that if I did get it wrong, I still wasn't going to get too punished. So, first hole out, putt for eagle. Okay, so there's not a lot in that really. So, not been on the practice green, so not brilliant for speed judgment. Can I open with an eagle? Hustle. Now, for anyone who doesn't want any disappointment, switch off. If you want to see what can potentially happen with my game, keep watching. So, 16th hole, 278 yard par 4. Now it's short, but it's a blind tee shot. Now, it's funny, isn't it, how my head works. The plan for me today was just get driver out and go blazing, which obviously worked great down that par 5. But I've kind of now made eagle, I'm kind of going, can I get in under par for these holes? So I'm going to go for some course management. We're going 4-iron off the tee. Let's try and pop myself in position and play some sensible golf. Now, anyone who knows me knows that sometimes this is where it goes wrong. So even though I'm being defensive with the club, I need to be aggressive with what I'm doing. So there's a cross up the left-hand side. I'm going to try and go just right at that with a little bit of a fade. So I've got my swing thought for that, but I need to make sure I keep focused on what I'm doing. Now again, that's a little bit right of where I wanted, but should just be in the semi-rough. But I will be annoyed if I've took 4-iron for safety and that's got me in trouble.
Okay.
Right, so I'm definitely semi-rough. Now there's a bunker up here. Don't be in, there it is. What superb course management that is, to just lay up beautifully into the fairway bunker. Honestly,
There you go.
one of the reasons I don't play. Okay, so 85 yards, which to be fair, I can definitely get sand iron up over that, but do I take my medicine and kind of just pop back to the fairway and try and get up and down, or do I go for it? I think we all know the answer, don't we? The course management thing hasn't worked, so I'm going to hit, we're back into the breeze. Are we into the breeze? Yeah, slightly into the breeze. So I'm going to hit my 95-yard shot, hopefully. And let's see where this gets me. Just call that a little fat. Okay, so the good news is it's not in the next bunker, but I think that's where the good news finishes. Oh, already is loads of my golf there. Eagle on a par 5 and then a drivable par 4 where I've tried to play safe and I'm now struggling to make 4. Right. Okay, so I've got a little 30-yard shot. I don't think the greens are going to be too receptive, so I probably wouldn't try and fly this on. So I'll probably just hit one to try and land just short on the fringe and just let that bounce up. So probably my, say, 56 degree for that one. Okay, so it's definitely more of a pitch than a chip. And I would definitely say in practice, this is probably the weakest part of my game. I know what you're commenting now, nothing like that positive self-talk, but again, I've got a little feel that I'm working on at the moment. Need to land this just short of the green and then let it just bounce up. Played that exactly how I wanted, and you're welcome for that pitching tip. Okay, so for me there, great little pitch shot, nice and close. Still going to break a little bit though, I think, this one, and I get asked a lot about green reading. Now, historically I've used my eyes years ago. I tend to use my feet more than anything now. So even though this is a short putt, I would still mark my ball and line it up how I would, which is so I can't see anything on the golf ball. Don't use a line, and my putter has no markings. But as I stand there, I can definitely feel my toes are lower, so it's downhill, and my right foot's just a little bit higher than my left. So probably just inside right edge, and just again, go through my routine, get the speed right, and knock it in. Not a huge achievement from 2 foot, but that for me is a great up and down, and I've got away with it again. So 2 holes played, not necessarily executing it how I want, but golf's not about being perfect. It's about making sure that the good ones are great and that the bad ones are still very playable. And that's all I've done for 2 holes. Right, so Eagle Par start, I kind of feel like I should be a bit more excited about that start than I am. I would probably say, and again, I know it's only a few holes, but maybe just give you like an insight as to my thinking as to if you think like this, it's okay to think like this. I'm 2 under for 2. But because I know I'm capable of that, I'm not really excited about it. But then I know that there's bad shots in there, which I find really difficult to accept. So let's hope next 2 holes, there's no bad ones and I can stay, we'll say, above water level with my head, and I'm not going to drown in these next 2 holes. So par 3. Now, 154 there. Let's get the scope anyway and just make sure I've got my yardage bang on. There's nothing worse than guessing when you've got tech, so get that out. So we've got 160 to the flag, kind of into and off the right. So I'm going to play this probably like, flag looks quite near the back there, and once you get through the back, you're trouble. So I'm probably going to hit it like a 160, and if it comes up just short of the flag, I can live with that and just try and 2-putt and get out of there.
Right, I'll keep on rolling, we'll just fast forward.
Right, so I'm thinking 160 into that. I'm going to play 7-iron. Probably just going to flight the ball down a little bit just to try and get as much of the yardage as I can from this. Right, so I'm thinking Blackpool Tower as the line, just try and keep the flight down a little bit. And the way I'm just going to do that is I'm going to feel like I keep a little bit more pressure on my lead side throughout the swing, get my low point ahead and just keep a bit of loft off. Just let the greenkeeper move from the right side of the green in case we don't get this right. Okay, so pick my line, got my swing thought, try and keep my focus. So I've struck that absolutely perfectly. Is it the right number? Oh. You know what? Might just get into this golf thing. Right, so Dan's just asked me an interesting question. He said, when I play well, do I want to play more? Or when I play badly, do I want to play more? Now, this will sound awful, but I love coaching. I'm just a bit, don't really care about my playing. So when I play well, I kind of go, that's been time well spent. If I play badly, I just don't want to play. And that's what I need to get, that change of mindset. That if I haven't played well, why? And then work on my game to obviously make sure I play better more often. But I'm sure there's lots of you out there might have that same kind of feeling as me. If you have, comment below. You can come on this journey with me. Right, so called it on the tee, and to be fair, just executed really well. But you can see massive bunker left, short right, and definitely there in hindsight, 7 was the perfect club, because if I'd have hit 6, which I was tempted with, once I'm over the back there, I'm not saying it's an impossible up and down, because nothing's impossible, but it would have made it really, really tough. So now, got that putt for birdie, would be nice to get to 3 under. Okay, so repair the pitch mark. Don't get to do that too often. And then let's clean the ball, line it up. Now, for a lot of golfers, the line can be beneficial, but like I said, I don't, so I try and get it so you can see nothing on the top of the golf ball. So nice and clean, no visual distraction for me there. And you can see when I put my putter behind it, no markings on my putter as well. So for me, that works great. Not for everyone. So, get the feet again a little bit uphill. If I'm being picky, Don't think that's going to do a lot if I'm being honest. So this is just about set the ball off online, get the pace right. Can we make another birdie? Well, technically first birdie of the few holes. Yes, we can. I do worry saying this, but golf can be quite easy sometimes. So hopefully you're enjoying seeing me out on the course. If you are and you want to see more of this type of content, comment below. Do you want to see me doing 9 holes, 18 holes, challenges with golfers? But while you're watching, you could also do me a little favour. It's still very obvious that a lot of people watching the video aren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're one of those, just do me a little favour, click the button below and then ring the bell and you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. And I'd love to promise the on-course stuff, it'll be this good every time, but there's a fair chance it won't be. So I'm 3 under for the first 3, 18th hole. Fairly straightforward, but a tough second shot up the hill, wind off the right. So come on, we need one more good swing with driver. Get us in position, not have too much hopefully into this green. So I'm going to go for, I think my little cut will keep this fairly straight against the wind. So I've picked my point at the top. And again, nailed it. That's absolutely where I've aimed. Something's definitely gone wrong. I'm finding fairways, I'm finding greens, and I'm holing putts. That is the combination that might get me playing a little bit more. Right, so I know it's only 4 holes, and there's no point getting super excited about that. But I'll be honest, I've been, nearly lost my fillings there, been pleasantly surprised, really pleasantly surprised with how the game's been. But it's always the same with me. If I'm focused on what I'm doing, generally I think I execute pretty well. And that's what I do well in the studio when I'm demonstrating. And it almost feels a little bit like, because the camera's on and people are watching, I need to focus to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to and hitting good shots. And I would say that's the biggest tip for most golfers. Own your golf game. Are you focused? Are you doing it? If you're not focused on what you're trying to do, you're not going to do it and you get what you deserve. But I've now got middle of the fairway, not too far to the green. I couldn't just finish with a birdie as well, could I? Okay. So 118 to the flag. And because I'm awful, 149 to the clubhouse. So that's the number we don't need. So 118, uphill. So it's actually, it does say on there with slope, playing about 123. Can't really work out the wind there. A little bit into, so probably play this like 130, which is, I want to say full pitching wedge, but full wedge feels too much here. But I'm going to hit it, I'm going to trust my number, and let's see. So I reckon just right at the flag. Let's get that clean. Because that's a problem for a lot of golfers, is if you get stuff on the club face, you're not going to get the spin, the ball's going to go further. So no excuses, good lie, premium ball, playing my Vice golf ball, which I've been quite impressed with, to be fair. So stick to the routine, got my swing thought. Just go a little bit. Yeah. Spun back a bit, I think, but it stayed up on top. I think we can say it's on the dance floor, but I probably can't hear the music too loud from there. Right, so coming up onto the green, I knew it was going to be a little bit away. I mean, could have very easily hit that flat out and probably still been short of the flag. But the interesting thing here is how many of you golfers out there say that you want backspin, you want those wedges coming back. Well, let's have a look at when you don't want backspin. So there's my ball, there's the flag, here's my pitch mark. Backspin's only a good thing when you're reaching the flag, and I, unfortunately there, have done what a lot of golfers do, is I've actually come up short. So in theory, probably even 9 wouldn't have got me through the back, but it would have left me a downhill putt. So, it is a putt for birdie. And to be fair, today's going okay. So, wonder if the golfing gods are smiling down at me. I'd say historically, they don't. So again, right foot's higher than left. Got probably 35, 40 feet. So I'm going to aim this kind of 3-4 feet out to the right. Just try and get my pace as good as I can. So my practice strokes, looking at kind of the hole for distance. Line myself up. Needs to hustle just a little bit. So the line was good, a little bit short on pace. Okay, let's take the flag out. Come on now. Let's finish with a par. So it's still right to left. Let's go through my routine. Boom. Great 2-putt, 3 under for 4 holes. I'm nearly, just nearly excited about my golf again. Right, so I said at the start of the video, can I get excited about my golf again? Do you know what? 3 under for 4, not excited, but I'm definitely not quitting. So it was good, I was focused, it shows what I do on the driving range. When I concentrate the same, I can take it to the course. Remember that when you say it doesn't work out there and it works on there. Concentrate on the same stuff, own your golf swing. And do you know what? Now I'm down at North Shore, and there's a bit more chance potentially for me to get out on the course. Might just do a little bit more of this content.